everybody, Fantasticairy here, back with another video. It's been very wintry where I live right now, lots of snow, and it's been quite cold. So other than working, I stay warm inside, and I've had some time to paint a full page to share with you guys. This week's video will be a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing with you bits and pieces of the page I've been working on, experimenting with texture. And if you know my videos, you know I repeat myself a lot when I say experiment and texture. So I thought I'd share with you some of my little techniques for when I paint these tiny illustrations. I find texture to be one of the more interesting things of watercolor, especially when painting plants, as plants have a lot of different types of surfaces. Some are see-through, some have dots, some of the most interesting textures you'll see. Using my small 0.5 round brush, I'm adding these little tiny round dots that I painted in to represent an almost flower on these tiny little branches. I'm not really going for realistic, but more for believability and conceptual. The experiment part comes in where I try to take something realistic and turn it into something more stylized, like painting this bulb of a flower, or a dried bulb of a flower, adding in these tiny dots over top of the painting, creating more of an interesting texture. So it's not all smooth, it has rough dots here and there. This page follows a theme of almost decaying plants. So plants that are either in slumber or have withered. So we have a lot of brown colors, but mixing in some other colors. But if you look close at the textures of plants, especially those that have withered, that you think aren't very colorful, there is color. You just gotta look really close. For this unique kind of flower that has seeds on its petals, I used my 01 fine liner brush to paint in some veins on top of the surface of the petal. Not making them perfect, but kind of squiggly and organic, some dark, some light, almost random, but still thinking about composition. Even though these illustrations are tiny and small, you can still play around with detail, making things look even more interesting. It just takes a little bit of patience and time. I really love the different tones of browns and yellows mixed together. And then I kind of go in and fill in some of those gaps. I'm just sketching in some darker spots to create this interesting look, so it's not all the same, as nature is not perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. And then for these little seedlings, I kind of add in some contrasted area, create a little bit more definition with these interesting shapes. A lot of the reference I collected, I deviated from and used my own colors. I tend to get bored if I try to paint too realistically, even though the practice is a good practice to practice. But I just find that I have to add in my own stylistic touch. And then from there, I kind of trust the process and my feel for composition and color to guide me through the rest of the painting, always surprising myself with the experimental result. Alright, so from this point on, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the final reveal of the sketchbook page with some music, and I'll see you at the end for the end result. Figuring out how to recreate the textures of certain plants in a smaller art style is always so interesting to experiment. The fun part is figuring out how I'm going to use certain techniques, brush techniques, wet on wet techniques, or dry brush techniques to recreate the textures that I see or that I'm observing in my own kind of unique style. And the experimentation is endless. There we go again with the words experiment and texture. I like to call this page colorful decay, as most of these plants have withered or are turning to seed, not necessarily decaying, but those two words together are very interesting, almost like how textures can be very interesting. I love how all the colors turned out, adding in my little circle palettes around the page always adds a nice little touch. The blues and the yellows really pop. That was very enjoyable to paint. And I actually have one more page left of the sketchbook. So that's pretty exciting. It's been over a year I've been working on the sketchbook, slowly but surely filling it with tiny little illustrations that I've been sharing with you guys on this channel. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the comments that make me so happy. So I want to say thank you to all you guys. We're a very small channel here still, but we're growing slowly, organically, and we're slowly building a community amongst ourselves. So please stay tuned for more. And again, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here and you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out in growing this channel. If you want to find me on the social medias, the link's in the description below, as well as my imprint shop where you can purchase some of the skeleton illustrations I've done thus far. This is where I say bye for now, so I'll see you next week with another video for the final page of this sketchbook.
If only I could find a way to put an angel on your shoulder.